Hey, what's good, YouTube family, and welcome back to the channel. You already know who I am by now, man. A1K back at it yet again for another video. And in today's video, I have a very important topic. This is one of my favorite topics to discuss in the world, and that is the reasons why you need a social media manager. Okay. Now, if you're a person who doesn't own or operate a small business or anything like that, you may not feel like you need a social media manager because it isn't congruent to your line of work. But if that's the case, feel free to stick around and just watch the video and just soak up all this good information. Okay, and while you're doing that, like the video, hit that like button too. Don't just sit here and watch the video and don't hit the like button. Please hit that like button. Okay. So with that being said, let's get straight into it, man. This is the reason why you need a social media manager. Now, I'm going to break down a few reasons, but the first reason I wanted to bring to your attention today is that a social media manager will actually save you time. Okay. Now, if you own or operate a small business, then you know that time is your most valuable asset. You know that time is an asset that is limited and that you will not get back. So with that being said, wouldn't it make the most sense to save as much of your time as you can? Wouldn't it make the most sense to take advantage of the time you do have and be the utmost productive with the time you do have? And if you have the ability to save time from doing one task and put that same time and energy into something else, wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you? You know? And it just goes to show that a lot of people really don't appreciate the value of their time, because there's people who operate these businesses and they choose to run all their social media accounts by themselves. But if you think about it, it takes hours and hours to set up posts, captions, hashtags. There's a list of things that go into managing the social media that a social media manager can do for you, right? And not only can they do this for you, but you're going to be in constant contact with that person, man or woman, whoever he or she may be. And your social media manager will actually be able to communicate with you on what it is exactly you want your page to convey. Right? Because a lot of sales and business goes back to storytelling, right? People feel comfortable spending money and doing business with a company or a brand that they feel like they know about, and they feel like they've been a part of the journey along the way, right? And part of getting the customer to feel that way about your business or company is to tell your story. And the idea is that in telling your story, the customer will be able to resonate with you and your story and feel more obligated to want to do business with you, not only now, but for times in the future, right? So hiring a social media manager to take care of all of the daily tasks that are required to keep a business, their online presence, it would almost be imperative to have a social media manager in your corner, right? Because while you're giving this person the job of managing your social media, you can take that same time you were using to do that and apply it to something completely different. You know, maybe you want to start a new business on the side. Maybe you want to just double down your current business and focus hard on different areas outside of just marketing. Because marketing is a very tedious task. It requires an eye for detail, and you have to really just pay attention to details of certain posts and advertisements in order to convey the proper image. Because let's say you run your own social media account and your own business all together. You're a one-person show, one man, one woman show, whatever the case may be. You're never going to get ahead of people who delegate their work to somebody else because they have more time than you. People who own or operate a small business and delegate most of the tedious tasks to other employees actually have more time for themselves. Why do you think wealthy business people are always on vacation or playing golf at some resort? It's because they have people to take care of their business for them. You see what I'm saying? So if you really want to level up, not just this year, but in years to come, if you want to level up now and in the future, it only makes the most sense you invest in your business and learn how to delegate some of the more tedious work to people who are more keen to doing so. Excuse me. But yeah, man, that's one reason why it's very important that you hire a social media manager, is because you will save so much time that you could use to invest in other things. Now, before I go into this next topic, man, please, if you have not done so already, hit that like button. Take that thumb of yours and hit that like button right now. Give my likes up, man, because the likes help expose my video to new people who haven't seen my content. So please, by all means, hit that like button. Now, getting into number 2, the reason why you need a social media manager, okay? And reason number 2 is, what a social media manager will do for your social media is build consistency. Okay, I'm gonna say it again one more time. A social media manager will build consistency for your company or business and their online presence. Now, why is consistency important? Well, the average consumer likes to feel that the companies they're spending money with are actively looking to promote their best products. Because the best products pretty much usually sell themselves most of the time, but that doesn't mean they don't need a little help along the way. So what consistency will do is it'll let the customer know that you're a person who's serious about your business and that you always have the customer in your first mind. Because the average person needs to see or interact with a person at least 3 to 5 times before they make that purchase or close that deal. You know, most purchases aren't closed or made within the first encounter of the item. No, these things take time. You know, people develop the need and want for goods and services over time. And one of the best ways to nourish that need for your product or business is to build consistency online. And one of the best ways to build consistency online is to hire a social media manager to take care of all the work for you. That way you don't have to worry about it. Look, all you have to do is have a few minutes, maybe even a half hour a week conversation with your social media manager, and they will have your social media looking exactly how you want it in no time, just like that. So with that being said, going on to number 3, the third reason why you need a social media manager is that in business, and especially online, there's always going to be deadlines and times where you need to get things done in a timely fashion. So if you're a person who's a one-person show, one man, one woman show, whatever the case may be, you really don't have the ability to meet every deadline every time. I mean, we have to be realistic. If you're a person who's running or operating your own small business all by yourself, you probably know that there's going to be certain deadlines and certain requirements that you may not meet due to time constraints. And why would you ever want to constrain yourself on time if you don't have to? Okay. So hiring a social media manager will allow you to not have to stress as much about meeting deadlines in the future. Because you already have somebody to take care of those deadlines. So by that being true, what do you have to worry about? It's that simple. So listen, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. If you have work online, especially on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and maybe even TikTok, whatever social media platforms you choose to market your product, good, or services on, make sure you hire a social media manager who actually knows what they're doing and has a reputable portfolio to base their work on. That way, your clients never have to worry about misinformation or being misled to buy a product, good, or service. So if you know your product is one of the best on the market and you just can't wait to share it with consumers so they can enjoy what you brought to them, make sure you get a social media manager to take care of all the tedious day-to-day things that happen online. And you really will have a step up on the competition. because other companies who aren't doing the same thing aren't going to be able to have the same free time as you, all because you hired a social media manager. So once again, to wrap it up, in conclusion, the 3 reasons why you need a social media manager: you will save time, you will build consistency, and you will never have to stress about meeting a deadline ever again, because you have somebody in your corner to back you up. So listen, man, that's all the time I have for today. I hope you soaked up this message. And if you need a social media manager yourself, make sure you hit me in my Instagram DM or just send me an email at a1kbusiness@gmail.com. I have plenty of ways to contact me. Just all you need to do is just find one and we can get in touch with me and we can talk. So with that being said, man, I want y'all to have a nice day. Take care of yourself and peace.